Welcome back to the Director's Garage. I'm running out of ideas, folks. I am your host and resident idiot, Michael, and today we've got my favorite type of episode. It's a blind What's in the Box from Audio 46. I have no idea at all what they've sent our way. It should be a fun ride, but first, we got some stuff to talk about. Let's do some headlines.
Headlines, get your headlines.
Now, first up is the Hifiman HER9. Now, this is a closed-back dynamic driver Hifiman. Dynamic driver. Very interesting. It's got vintage Sony vibes for sure, and it's kind of crossed with Fostex in there. At $599, it's a headphone that I am definitely interested in. I love the sound of a dynamic driver headphone. They get all that slam going on. It's very physical. I just find it very alluring. Now, y'all know my love for Fostex and Mastrop's THXOO lines, the Purple Heart. And this now sounds like the first headphone in a while that's kind of seeking to fill the void left by this headphone. They don't make these anymore. Hifiman and Audeze have just been killing it lately. Next up, I've got a quick unboxing of something I picked up from a user on HeadFi.
Go.
Let's take a quick look. So I'm just going to kind of rip into this. I don't want to do like a big deal unboxing with this. It's just fun sometimes to open shit on camera, and I think you guys kind of appreciate it. Maybe I'm wrong.
Nah.
So I'm ripping this thing open, and I'm just going to show you what I bought. I'm going to just kind of wing this one and show you the bling of it. And this thing came all the way from Singapore, and it took like only 4 days to get here. The world is getting smaller, not bigger. And this isn't anything major, it's just a fun blingy thing, and it had a good price, and I thought, what the heck. And here it is. It's a black box. Yes, I bought a black box in a Ziploc bag. Looks like drugs.
Freeze!
Any guesses? Because it's really cryptic. Oh, it's a case. It's a leather-bound case. Yeah, who does this? It's because it's a very expensive... Oh, it's a Kimber cable, Axios headphone cable. Look at this. Now, I saw this at Can Jam, and I just was running it through my fingers, and I thought, man, I want to have one of these someday. Well, one came up used, and it was like at least half off, and I can't afford a new one, but this one's terminated for Audeze and Meze, so I have plenty of headphones from each around here, so this was kind of a fun pickup, and I just wanted to show it off. And I want to talk about the SPL Labs Phonitor X right back there. Now that's for sale now. Now these things run $3,000 new. I'm selling it for much less than that. A few things pushed me over on this, and that was the Ferrum stack. I changed the inputs from RCA unbalanced to XLR balanced. And when I did that, I got a level boost, and I no longer needed to push the amp into gain on the Susvara. So that gave it a much clearer advantage over the Phonitor. And then the second reason is I started listening to the Abyss Phi 1266 TC on the Ferrum. Really interesting sound coming from that. I want to investigate it further. And finally, the Phonitor X has a killer DAC in it, and it's got these crossfeed features that liven up any sound. And I never use them. So like $1,000 of this amp is sitting here and I never touch it. And that's a shame. It should go to somebody who's going to use the amp to its fullest. And those are your headlines for today. But our feature today is this box right here. We're digging into an Audio 46 mystery box, and here's how it works. Audio 46 drops something in a box, and they send it to me. I have no idea what it is. It could be a $200 product. It could be a $2,000 product. We just don't know. Now we're going to unbox this thing together, and we're going to try to figure it out. But first, I've got to thank Audio 46 for taking care of this show the way they have. I talked about our arrangement in the last episode, and they really are the best. I get lost on their website for hours. They carry the best brands, they ship fast and free, and they have the best customer service in the business. And if you use the coupon code Director's Garage, all one word, you can save 5% on most of the items they stock. It's our way of giving back to you, the faithful viewer. And at the same time, it supports this channel. Like a killer with a switchblade knife. Nasty word, he'll take your life. Got that one? It's a little obscure. That's Killing Time by Metallica off their 1998 compilation, wait for it, Garage Inc. I've been doing some metal lately. Who knew? Now, this box has given me major IEM vibes for some reason. It just seems like it's the right size. It's been a minute since they sent us an IEM, so let's see what's impressing them. Are you ready? I think we're there. Let's go. And oh, it's something. It's an over-ear. Oh my God, it's an over-ear. Hang on a second. Oh my goodness, it's a Final Audio UX3000. It's a Bluetoother, though. It looks like it's going to talk to our phone. Check this out. It says up to 35 hours of call. That's a long battery. That's a big battery. Hybrid. It's got active cancellation and voice calling. So this is like a full-featured Bluetooth deal, and it's Final Audio. And now a lot of people have been telling me that the D8000 is one I've got to check out. So, you know, let's see what they got. I'm imagining these sound pretty darn good. Let's crack them open and see what's in here. I try to be careful with this stuff. I don't want to damage the box. And it looks like this thing just kind of pops up and feeds through. We pull these two out, and we got ourselves... It's got a little manual on top here, taped in. I wonder what the tape is for. I'm gonna lose this. Come back down, you've got USB charging. I've got a USB cable, and then it looks like a headphone cable. Yeah, that's a 3.5 inch in there. I think we got to stay with the Bluetooth myself if we're going to test these things out, because the Bluetooth has got to be the sell on these, right? You want to do the wireless thing. And let's see how... Oh wow, they've got a lot of... These are really heavily taped. All right, well, these are on-ears. These are on-ear headphones. I haven't played too much with the on-ear headphones. Haven't since my Bose days. And they're comfortable enough. The pads feel good. I'm not a huge on-ear fan because they tend to like push on my ears, and I don't like them for the long term. But yeah, let's play. Let's play today, huh? Checking out the bottom here, we've got some buttons. It's going to be hard to see this, I'm sure, but there's an ANC button, there's a plus and a minus, and there's a power. So I'm assuming the power is going to be how we get started. So I'm going to turn that on, and I don't have any lights. So these may need, oh no, there we go. It's got a Bluetooth pairing. So I pushed the button, and we got ourselves a Bluetooth pairing. Okay, this took me a little bit to figure out, and it wasn't the fault of the device here. It was the fault of me not knowing the KN's menu that well, but I was able to connect it to the KN. So we're going to get a pretty good audio source here. The KN-N8 is going to feed this Bluetooth headphone audio. I've got some Beatles tracks called up. Why not? It seems like a good thing to try it out. I mean, what else am I going to do? And I've got these things all wired up. I think it's time to head into a director's garage sound impression.
Sound impression.
Start with Come Together. And they've got good bass. And they sound pretty good. It's a commercial tuning. The nice thing is that the volume on the KN does change on the headphone as I slide it around. And that's not all that common, I wouldn't think. But you don't get a lot of gain out of it. To get the gain, you've got to come onto the bottom of these and push these two buttons right here. So we'll put this on, and I'll see how much I can get out of this. Oh, and there's a lot of gain. It gets rocking. It's not ear-splitting levels. You can probably do better with the amp directly off of the KN, but... And you know, the sound quality is pretty nice. It's a commercial tuning. This isn't going to replace, say, a great pair of IEMs, but you don't have the wires. I like these. These are fun. Okay, I'm going to pause the music for a second. Let's pause the music because these sound reasonably good, but what I want to now test is this ANC. And the ANC button on this headphone stands for active noise cancellation. That's right. And oh, it gets Wow. It's like your head's plugged up. All right, now let's go back to play mode. You know? These are kind of badass. This is a nice winning tuning. I like that it's got active. Okay. I'm going to try something real quick. Hang on a second. Because I want you to hear the voice on this. Now, I can't play, Beatles music for you over the air, but I can do this, and you can hear the lady's voice.
Noise cancelling.
And then when you go and press it again,
Off.
I don't know what accent that is, but it's cracking me up. And that's by pushing this ANC button down here that you get that you turn it on and off. You just hold it down for a second or two, and it engages. And when it kicks in, it is a remarkable amount of noise canceling. It sounds like it feels like my head's stuffed up. It's very strange. It's a high quality noise canceling program, whatever it is, algorithm. And if these things can talk to my phone so I can make a phone call or pause and play on the phone, there's some value here. This is pretty cool. And you go right back to the music. Okay, let's go to the Cat Stevens teaser and the Fire Cat. And I'll pull Tuesday's Dead. First of all, there's no meaningful difference in the sound quality with the active noise canceling turned on or off. Yeah, it doesn't change tonality at all. It just deadens the room around on the outside. So I want to talk about the tuning of these things because it's kind of an interesting tuning, and it falls into what I would call a commercial sound. And what they're doing first of all is the upper treble, those super upper frequencies, the stuff over 10K. They're being boosted. I can hear that because I can hear the string on the guitar, the pick on the string of the guitar. You can hear all that strumming. But the body of the sound, the body of the notes aren't out of place. So they're doing a big boost up high for whatever reason. Then you get into the lower treble and the upper mids, and those are tucked away quite nicely. And it continues on down, and then you get to sort of those middle frequencies with the voices, and the voices sound actually pretty rich. At least the two male voices I've listened, which is John Lennon and Cat Stevens so far, those sound really nice. There's good baritone, and then you start getting into the bass frequencies, and they're just boosting the crap out of the bass to give it like that thumping presence. The end result is this steep V, but what's remarkable is how much they're boosting the upper treble frequencies, because it's really almost comical in a way, but it is a commercial-ish tuning. That's where you get that commercial sound from. But I'm finding these very enjoyable. One thing I don't like is that they feel warm when they're on my head. They feel warm. On a plane, probably not so bad because planes are traditionally a little bit on the cold side. But for everyday use around the house, this is going to get icky after a while. The counter argument to this, of course, will be IEMs. IEMs will give you a good passive cancellation because they plug your ears up so well, and they will deliver fidelity on an order much higher than the final 3000. But what you gain with a headphone like this is portability. You're not wired into anything, and this is where the Focus Pro becomes an interesting option. The Focus Pro brings in phenomenal fidelity, like really true fidelity in a wireless in-ear. But what you gain from these are active noise cancellation. You get call features, which the Focus Pro doesn't do. And I'm going to listen to a couple of more tracks, but I do have the tuning kind of nailed. I don't think I'm going to get any more surprises. But I would do a jazz set on this. These might be a little bass heavy for a jazz track, but why not? Let's listen to jazz at the pawn shop, and let's go to Jeep's Blues. And I'll even put the noise cancellation on. Jazz at the Pawn Shop. Now, this is a binaural recording, or it's very much like a binaural recording if it's not. And pretty intimate. It sounds pretty good. I'm enjoying these. This is an entertaining experience. It doesn't have the detail of higher end, but I'm assuming that this is in the $300 range. We got to go online and check it out. If it's way above that, like the Meze was a few weeks back, then I'm going to say, well, we have to reframe this. But if these are landing in the $300, $400, or even up to $500 range, I think that this is a formidable set. This is something I would consider. I'm hearing the room, which I really love about Jazz at the Pawn Shop. You can really hear the crowd talking and the drinks, the glasses clanking, and then the music is just riding on top of this natural sound. And I'm cutting so much room sound out. It's becoming even more intimate, and I'm kind of appreciating that in this headphone. But again, not the last name and fidelity. I don't think these are terribly fast, but they're enjoyable, and get an enjoyable experience, say on a plane with a 35-hour battery life. I can fly to Europe and back. Not have to worry about charging these things, as long as I don't forget to turn them off. They do quiet nicely. They get relatively loud. They're not going to blast you out. That's the one thing I would say is, like, if you're into like a heavy metal and you want to just jam and rock on the plane, you're not going to get that experience out of these because they don't go terribly loud. You would have to at that point wire into them and then boost it. I don't have too much bad to say about these things. So now this is London Calling. Soundstage wise, very tight. Imaging, not bad. Not great. There's a little smeary, but there's a lot happening in these things. They're canceling noise, but I'm getting a nice stereo effect. And the tuning is a nice commercial tuning. It's not an audiophile tuning because the bass is so boosted. And again, you get that super high shimmer, which I can tell somebody was just going, oh, let's just crank up that treble. It's going to be great. It is a little fun. Here's the thing. A headphone doesn't have to be spot perfect for me to enjoy it. It just has to present something in an entertaining way. I have to have a feeling like I'm connecting to the music. These kind of do that, and they don't do it in the most gracious way because the construct is very plasticky, but they do have very fine coverings. This is either rubber, this is a rubber, but it's a very soft rubber. The pads, I don't think they might be lambskin, I don't know, but they're very soft. It's got the Bose thing going on. I mean, clearly they're after that Bose market, which is huge, and I don't blame them. Everybody should go after it, but they're kind of building the better Bose, and that's kind of the title of this. They did build, I think, a better Bose. Not having a Bose here directly to compare it, probably not fair to Bose, but I'm just saying that these things are giving me an entertaining experience. Construct, these things are light. They're lightweight. They are very plasticky. One thing I want to check real quick, because I didn't do this, and this has been a problem traditionally with Bose. Yeah. Any brush on the outside of these cups, and it goes right through. And even with the active noise canceling on, I don't like that. That's something that always annoys me about these headphones that are plastic like this, is even the slightest brush just resonates through the entire cup. And I would like to see somebody come out with this rubberized version on the outside so that when you brush against it, it doesn't disrupt what you're doing inside the headphone. As far as construction, these lay flat. They do not fold up though, and that is a bit of a negative. I would like something that goes Oh no, they do. Oh, folks, this is a hidden secret. This is like James Bond shit.
You don't see that every day.
These really do. They fold up.
Well, whistle me, Dixon.
Well, this is a whole different ball game. How do these can get really small then?
Well, paint me yellow and call me banana.
You can do this. You can do this. This is well thought out. Well, that's a party trick I just want to play with all day. I could sit here. They're articulating and bending, and you can make them super tiny and flat. These don't care. What a fun set of little travel headphones that Final Audio has come up with here. Well, these things just have all kinds of... And look at this. Now, there's another thing. Look at this. If you're blind, they put a braille code right here so you can feel where the left is. And even if you're not, and it's in the dark, and you're trying to figure out which side to go on, you just rub the side, and oh, I've got a little bump there. That's my left. This is genius. I'm more and more impressed by these by the second, and I'm going to be inclined to recommend this headphone for travel use if the price is right. All right, so let's go to the computer now, and I'm going to go to Audio 46, who sent us this cool pair. And this is why I love what Audio 46 sends me. Sometimes they send me something, once in a great while they'll send me something that I just don't get, and I'm like, I can't connect with this. But usually when they're sending me something, it's because they think that I'm going to connect with something. You know, they don't want to send me a product that I'm not going to like. And they know my taste, so they kind of try and surprise me and shock me with stuff. And this is a creeper. I started out going, well, it's kind of a Bose, whatever. And then the deeper I got into these things, I started discovering the quirks and the features of them, and the way there's a braille thing there, and the way that these things fold and they connect with your devices so easily, and they can take calls, and then the noise cancellation is excellent on these. Very surprising. Let's take a look at what it is, and I'm hoping that they've got these priced smart. And I'm looking for them. $179. Sold. What a great pair of travel headphones. The right price. They didn't overdo it. You know, would I like to see maybe a little pro version where they put some more damping on this stuff and maybe carry over this rubber onto the side of the ear cup so they don't make so much noise? Yeah, I would like to see that. But you can also wire them. You can go... This is a win. If you're in the market for a Bose type situation, a Beats type situation that is wireless, I would say give these a chance. I think there's something here that would impress you, and I am blown away by the attention to detail that Final Audio has put onto these. Now I got to get Audio 46 to send me that D8000 so I can check those out. So that's the Final Audio UX3000. And folks, you know, this is not a set that somebody just threw together and said we're going to put out on the market. There were people who worked on this for, I would assume, months and maybe even years to put this together and come up with this package, and it's priced right. This is a very, very well thought out pair, and I'm thankful that Audio 46 sent these my way. I'm going to enjoy these for a day or two, and then I'm going to ship them back because I can't keep them. Now, coming up, I have a sound check on the way of these. This is the Audeze Carbon, folks. This is the headphone that just blew me away on first listen. Well, I have spent a few weeks with these now, and I've been taking a lot of notes. I have a lot to say about them. So the sound check of this headphone is going to be impressive. You don't want to miss that one. Now, I also have an amp on the way. It's a flagship amp, and I did a trade for it. I traded one of my headphones for this amp, and I can't wait to share that with you and go over the details of the trade. It's kind of fun. And then we're going to have a look back in our 100th episode of everything we've learned so far. There's plenty more in store. Stay with me. So now's the time I'm going to ask you to subscribe to the Director's Garage so you don't miss any of this madness. It's your subscriptions that keep the content rolling, and I thank you guys for coming along on this wild ride. I couldn't do this without you guys. Now, give this episode a thumbs up if you appreciated our look at the UX3000 Bluetooth from Thieaudio. Very impressive little piece of technology here. Or you can do the other thing if you'd rather see me offered up as a sacrifice to an active volcano. I can't say I blame you either way, but I will see you before you know it.